Sorry, actually, I have to read because yes. So, all of you see the midnight visitor. You see, there is a character called Osable. Okay, so Osable did not fit any description of a secret agent Fowler had ever read. Osable Osable is a secret agent. Okay, now let's find out what he does. Okay,
Don't allow to come in, sir. Just don't allow. Sir, don't allow, don't allow. Sir, they will ask.
okay. So Osable, Osable is a secret agent expecting to get a very important report. Another secret agent, Max, threatens him with a pistol, demanding the report. Does Osable outwit him? So, there are two secret agents here. One is Osable and another is Max. Osable is looking for a very important report. Okay? But another secret agent, Max, threatens him with a pistol, demanding the report. Does Osable outwit him? Okay? Does Osable outwit him? Stay outside. Okay. Now you see, Osable did not fit any description of a secret agent Fowler had ever read. Following him down the musty corridor of the gloomy French hotel where Osable had a room, Fowler felt let down. It was a small room on the 6th and top floor and scarcely a setting for a romantic adventure. See here, Osable did not fit any description of a secret agent Fowler had ever read. So who is the Fowler? Who is Fowler, you tell?
Sir, Fowler, I think German.
Outside. Okay. So, here you see, following him down the musty corridor of the gloomy French hotel where Osable had a room, Fowler might be a person who will discover about Fowler later on, okay? Fowler felt let down. It was a small room on the 6th floor, top floor, and scarcely a setting for a romantic adventure. Okay, so the room where Osable was staying, that was a very small room, might be, means he's a secret agent, so the narrator thought, like Fowler thought, he might be occupying a big room, but he took a very small room, okay? Now, Osable was, for one thing, he was very fat, okay? Very fat, and then there was his accent. Though he spoke French and German passably, he had never altogether lost the American accent he had brought to Paris from Boston 20 years ago. Osable was very fat. Okay? Osable was very fat. And then there was his accent. He spoke French and German passably. Passably means he could not speak French and German very fluently, okay? Only somehow he could manage to speak French. Somehow he could manage to speak French. No, Osable could not speak French and German fluently, might be in a very flawless manner, but passably. Passably means somehow he could manage to speak French and German. He had never altogether lost the American accent. He was an American. He had brought to Paris from Boston 20 years ago. So Osable is basically from Boston. Okay, listen. So, Osable was for one thing fat, very fat, and then there was his accent. Okay, you were disappointed, Osable said, quizzily over his shoulder. You were told that I was a secret agent, a spy, dealing in espionage and danger. You wished to meet me because you are a writer, young and romantic. You envisioned mysterious figures in the night, the crack of pistols, drugs in the wine. Okay, so the person, now can you guess who is Fowler? Who is Fowler, do you think now? Fowler appears to be a writer, right? Writer. Because here you see, Osable said him, you are disappointed. Osable said, don't.
How are you feeling? Badminton.
एक दिन ना बाहर रहने से ठीक हो जाएंगे. See, when there was morning class ना, so you wait in 10 minutes ना फटाफट खा लेते थे आप लोग. Quick.
25 मिनट का ब्रेक होता था.
कब?
25 मिनट का ब्रेक होता था.
I will not allow. See, my
Due to sharing and
see, next, please check your to see your textbook. You are disappointed, Osable said wheezily over his shoulder. You were told that I was a secret agent, a spy dealing in espionage and danger. You wish to meet me because you are a writer, young and romantic. You envisioned mysterious figures in the night, the crack of pistols, drugs in the wine. Instead, you have spent a dull evening in a French music hall with a sloppy fat man who, instead of having messages slipped into his hand by dark-eyed beauties, that's only a prosaic telephone call making an appointment in his room. You have been bored. The fat man chuckled to himself as he unlocked the door of his room and stood aside to let his frustrated guests enter. So, who is there to allow? Who is there? Tell me. The fat man chuckled to himself. Who is the fat man here? Possible. Yes. He is a fat man, and the person Fowler who has come to meet him, okay, is the writer. Okay. Next you see here. You are disillusioned, Osable told him. But take cheer, my young friend. Presently you will see a paper, a quite important paper, for which several men and women have risked their lives. Come to me. Someday soon, the paper may well affect the course of history. In that thought, is there not? As he spoke, Osable closed the door behind him, then he switched on the light. And as the light came on, Fowler had his first authentic thrill of the day. For halfway across the room, a small automatic pistol in his hand, stood a man. Okay, there was a man with pistol in his room, Osebul's hotel room. Osebul blinked a few minutes. Max, he wheezed, you gave me quite a start. I thought you were in Berlin. What are you doing here in my room? So, another detective, okay, has somehow managed to enter the room of Osebul and with a pistol in his hand. So that is why Osebul became strange, surprised, and he was asking, Max, you gave me quite a start. I thought you were in Berlin. What are you doing here in my room? Max was slender, a little less than tall, with features that suggested slightly the crafty, pointed countenance of a fox. There was about him, aside from the gun, nothing especially menacing. The report, he murmured, the report that is being brought to you tonight concerning some new missiles. I thought I would take it from you. It will be safer in my hands than in yours. So what is Max asking from Osebul with a pistol in his hand? What do you think is Max trying to ask Osebul? The report that Osebul seems to be having with him. Okay, so it is a very important report. Maybe some secret documents. Okay, therefore Max with a pistol tries to threaten Osebul and wants to collect the document from him. Okay, so Max was slender. Slender means he was thin, unlike Osebul who was fat. Okay, so Max was slender, a little less than tall, with features that suggested slightly the crafty, pointed countenance. Countenance means face.
Sir, he entered in front of Ryder.
Yes, yes. There was about him, aside from the gun, nothing especially menacing. Menacing means scary. The report, he murmured, the report that is being brought to you tonight concerning some new missiles. I thought I would take it from you. It will be safer in my hands than in yours. He said, the report will be safer in my hand than in your hand. Okay? So, this is how Max wants to collect the report from Osebul. Now you see, Osebul moved to an armchair and sat down heavily. Osebul is a very smart guy, so he will not give easily the document to Max. So he sat very comfortably in an armchair and sat down happily. I am going to raise the devil with the management this time, and you can bet on it, he said grimly. This is the second time in a month that somebody has got into my room through that nuisance of a balcony. So Osebul says that I am going to complain to the management of the hotel that this is for the second time that someone has entered my room through the balcony. Right? He is telling this to Max, secret agent. Okay, making Max believe that there is a balcony attached to his window. Right? So he is giving the impression to Max that there is a balcony attached to the window. Okay, so he said to Max that I shall complain to the management of my hotel that this is for the second time someone has entered my room through the balcony that is attached to my window. Right? Now, the balcony, Max said with a rising inflection. No, a passkey. I did not know about the balcony. It might have saved me some trouble had I known. I have entered in your room through a passkey. I have entered in your room through a passkey. I did not know about any kind of balcony. Otherwise, I could have saved some time. Now, it's not my balcony, Osebul said with extreme irritation. It belongs to the next apartment. He glanced. It belongs to the next apartment. Okay. He glanced explanatorily at Fowler. You see, he said, this room used to be part of a large unit, and the next room through that door there used to be the living room. If it had the balcony which extends under my window now, you can get into it from the empty room 2 doors down, and somebody did last month. The management promised to block it off, but they haven't. Max glanced at Fowler. Max glanced at Fowler, who was standing stiffly not far from Osebul, and waved the gun with a commanding gesture. Please sit down, he said. We have a wait of half an hour, I think. 31 minutes, Osebul said moodily. The appointment was for 12:30. I wish I knew how you learned about the report. Max, the little spy smiled evilly. And we wish we knew how your people got the report. But no harm has been done. I will get it back tonight. What is that? Who is at the door? Dekho. Now some police officer might have come. Okay. Some police officer might have come, might have knocked the door at that time. The little, then you see, Fowler jumped at the sudden knocking at the door. Possible just smiled. That will be the police, he said. I thought that such an important paper as the one we are waiting for should have a little extra protection. I told them to check on me to make sure everything was all right. Max beat his lip nervously. The knocking was repeated. What will you do now, Max? Osebul asked. If I do not answer the door, they will enter anyway. The door is unlocked and they will not hesitate to shoot. Max's face was black with anger as he backed swiftly towards the window. He swung a leg over the sill. Send them away, he says. Send them away. He warned. I will wait on the balcony. Send them away or I'll shoot and take my chances. So what does Max say to Osebul? What does Max? Them means who? Police. Send the police back. Otherwise, I'll collect and shoot my document. I'll shoot and collect my document. Shoot, you will collect my document. You send the police back. I am standing at the balcony. Right. This is what Max says to Osebul. Okay. Then the knocking at the door became louder and a voice was raised. Mr. Osebul, Mr. Osebul. Okay. And then you see, keeping his body twisted so that his gun still covered the fat man and his guest, the man at the window grasped the frame with his free hand to support himself. Then he swung his other leg up and over the windowsill. The doorknob turned. Doorknob turned. The police will now come inside. Swiftly Max pushed with his left hand to free himself from the sill and dropped to the balcony. And then as he dropped, he screamed once shrilly. As Max jumped from the window to wait for some time on the balcony, what happened? He screamed shrilly. He was screaming like anything. The door opened and a waiter stood there with a tray, a bottle and two glasses. So was it police who was outside knocking at the door?
No, wait, no.
Only waiters. But Osebul told lie to Max that I told police to come and check on me because I was carrying an important document with me. He told a lie. He told a lie to Max so that Max tries to escape through the window. That is why he told a lie to Max. Okay, now you see. Listen, now interesting. See, very much interesting. Here is the drink you ordered for when you returned, he said, and set the tray on the table, deftly uncorked the bottle and left the room. White-faced Fowler stared after him, but he stammered, the police. There were no police Osebul's side, only Henry, whom I was expecting. But won't that man out on the balcony? Fowler began. No, said Osebul, he won't return. You see, my young friend, there is no balcony.
He is dead.
He can't be dead.
Sir, he is dead because he was written as he dropped, he screamed once.
He can be escaped.
No.
No,
Out of
how?
35th floor से कितने का कहाँ बंदा उसका?
6th floor है ना?
6th floor है.
Sir, not 36. 6 तो से भी गिरा तो भी मरेगा ही ना.
और 30th floor से
So, देखो, Osebul was very smart. So he told a lie. Osebul told a lie to Max that there is a balcony attached to my window. But actually there was no balcony. So when he jumped out of the window to land on the balcony, there was no balcony. So he fell all the way down to the ground and he will die. And
he is dead.
in the presence with his presence of mind, Osebun was able to save himself and his document and Fowler, okay, and this is how the story comes to an end.
Sir, but Max and Osable was friends of
No.
No.
He was another secret agent from another different company.
Okay, dear students. So that's the end of the lesson. We have seen that how through the presence of mind, Osebul was able to save himself and Max and his document also, because Max came up with a pistol. He was another secret agent, but somehow Osebul told a lie to him that police has come to inquire about him. So that Max gets scared, and then he came up with another lie that there is a balcony attached to his window, but there was in fact no balcony. He told this lie so that Max can hide himself in the balcony, and as and when he will try to hide himself, he will fall all the way to the ground floor, right? So that is how Osebul, with this presence of mind, with his intelligence and with his art of talking, could manage to save himself, his document, and also his another writer, Fowler. Okay, so this is how the story comes to an end. You can go through my website for further details. You can find the theme and summary also of this lesson. And please update your notebook. Okay, you are at home, so please do update your notebook on a regular basis. Okay, thank you.